Hello, my name is Shristi and welcome to day 9 of the 30-day Mean Stack Honolulu Challenge. Today we're going to move on. We've dealt with and we've put together our homepage, we've done our login page, we've also done our sign up page. Today we're going to move on and we're going to work on the customers page, and we're going to look at what the customers entity is all about, where it can come from, and what it is that we're actually going to try and make. So if we have a look at the use cases, we've got our fictitious customer, so they're the app makers company, and the idea is that we want to allow their employees to create a customer, and when they do that, they should be able to add in all these different details, just first name, surname, suburb, country, all those kind of things. They need to be able to search for a customer, and when they do that, they need to be able to enter search criteria and enter filtering criteria. And in regards to filtering, that's where we will start to have a look at Angular filters, how they work, and put some of those into the app. And then lastly, we'll move on to updating customer details. So we need to be able to select a customer and then decide that they're the ones that we actually want to edit, go in, change their details, and update, and see the updated result. So a quick look at the wireframe. So these wireframes are what we'll probably work through in the next couple of weeks, seeing how fast we can get through them. So we'll start off. We'll have this is a version of what we want the app to look like when we're looking at it on a mobile phone. So we'll see a list of customers. There'll be a place to search. We'll be able to select a button and add a new customer. This is the same view again, but this time on a tablet or a desktop device. And this time we're looking at what our new customer page will look like. And this, you can see that this is a small kind of window which is sitting over the top of the actual view behind it. And that's what we call a modal window. Well, I'll show you how to do that, and how to enter details and data here and get that to actually update our list of customers by adding a new customer. And we'll then look at that same view, but this time on a tablet or a desktop device. And then lastly, we'll look at updating customers. So selecting a customer that already exists, and again, popping that open in a modal window, going through and updating their details. And here's that view again, but this time it's on a tablet or desktop device. So now that we've got a bit of an idea about what we want to do, we need to think about how do we go about adding this customer's kind of entity into our app. Well, what I'm going to do is, before I make any further changes that are actually going to change the structure of the app, I want to go through and make sure that I actually back up and save the changes that we've already made to Git. And I'm going to do that and just upload to VCS, so version control. All of my updates are added. I put in a commit message such as, let's say, first draft of the Mean app. Let's do that, and then I'll just commit it for now. If you're not using WebStorm, that's fine. I'll put the details up on Bossable.com for you to follow through to add your files to Git as well. So I'll just let that happen. It shouldn't take too much longer. Just hit commit. Fantastic. So that's all good now. I can see that when I hit changes, there's no more files that I need to worry about. Okay, so now what we want to do is look at how do we create the customer's entity. And if you followed through in my very first video, which went through actually setting up the Mean stack, what we looked at was the Yeoman Generator, and we used the Yeoman Generator to kind of structure out or put in all the bones and all the files that we wanted to use to actually set up the Mean stack app for us. What we can do is actually go back to that generator and use it to create new entities, new CRUD relationships for us, as well as any other individual files that the generator supports. And I'll show you how to find that. So if you go across to Mean.js.org. I'll just make that bigger so you can see it. And then go across to Yeoman Generator. And in this page, you'll see a bit of an overview of what Yo is all about. You see, in getting started, this is essentially the process that we went through when we set up our Mean app. And we used the application generator to actually go through and answer all those questions that we went through. But now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll use the CRUD module subgenerator, and this will help us create a new CRUD module for customers. So for example, if I go to my Mean app, I go down to public and I look at modules. At the moment, I've only got two modules. I've got core and I've got users. What I want to create is a new module for customers, and I want to put all my customer related files into that module so that if I wanted to use it again for a different app, I can just grab it and put it over there. So to have a look at that, just while we're looking at this page, the CRUD module subgenerator is just one of the generators on this. If you wanted to specifically create certain files, for example, Angular modules or controllers or views, so on and so forth, there's generators for all of those as well. So that's really handy if you're looking at using the same structure that we've already set up. So what we want to do is use this code here. So we ignore the $, we grab Mean.js CRUD module, and at the end of it, it says module name, and that's where we're actually going to put in the module name that we use. So just copy that, and I've just I could do this in WebStorm, but I'm going to just open up PowerShell. I've already changed into the directory for where my Mean app is actually sitting. So that's my Mean project, which is the name of my project up here. And what I'm going to do is just paste in Mean.js CRUD module, and I need to put, before I hit enter, I need to put the name of the module at the end. I'm just going to call it customer. I prefer to write CRUD modules in singular rather than plural form. I just think it's just cleaner that way. It's up to you what you choose to call the module, but this is what I'm going to go with. So I'm just going to hit enter. So just let that do its thing. Okay, so it's asking me now, so what kind of folders do you want to include in your Angular module? I want everything. So I'm just going to go, so space to select. So I want CSS, I want one for image, I want one for directives, and I want one for filters. And this just structures our app. So for example, if I look over at users, I see that there's like a CSS folder, an image folder. There's no separate folder here for directives and filters, but we will have one in the one that we in the entity that we create. So I'll have all of those. Would you like to add CRUD module links to a menu? But just to demonstrate what that process would look like. So for example, if I went to core and I go to services, there's a menus kind of client over here. So that this kind of helps you formulate the menu, which kind of sits on your navigation at the top. I'm not going to worry too much about that at this stage, so I'll just say yes, just to add it there, but we can always pull that out. What's your menu identifier? It's just the top menu, that will do. That's pretty much it. So what it's done for us is it's gone through and it's created, in our app, so on the server side, it's created a controller, and what it's done is, even though I just called this module customer and used the singular of customer, it's actually added a plural for me, and made this customers. So it's added a customer server controller, a customer server model. It's added routes. It's added a test. So it's added 4 files on the server side. And then what it's also done is, in public modules, it's actually created this customer folder for me, and set up the config file, the controller services tests, all of those types of things for me. Now I did ask for it to create these files for image and directive, but it hasn't actually set them up here. And the reason for that is what it should have done. We'll have a look in a second. It should be creating these folders, but it's not necessarily populating them for us. So it's kind of just having it there as a placeholder. So let's go and have a look. I'll just refresh modules. And there we go. So there's our new customers entity. Let's have a look at that, what we've got there. You can see that we asked for filters and images and CSS and directives, so it's created these files for us. There's nothing in there. It's all kind of empty, waiting for us to do something with it. It's created a heap of views. So it's created views for create, edit, our list views, and so on and so forth. And it's also added those into our routes. So if we went to if we went to this route, so if we open up an app and go to dash customers, it would show this list view here. So to do that, just go over to the Mean app. Just started that up, and if I just add on the end of that, so if I go to routes, I see that the URL is /customers. So if I just even copy that and I just paste that in the end, well, I don't need the slash twice, so I'll just get rid of that, and go to customers, here's the page that we've just created. So we've now added in a fully sort of functioning CRUD module, just with a really, just with a couple of lines of code. And this is what we're going to use to create the rest of our app. We're well on the way to getting our customers entity. So that's where I'll leave it here today. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow.